All right, got the theme music going. All right. All right. We'll get them started. Let's start off with
those of us that indulge in or commit intellectual violence don't do so for pleasure of mental masturbation or egotism. We do so because the change of impression on people's minds are deep and difficult to remove.
Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. I'm your third eye optometrist, Patrice Gibbs. That's right here. Y'all ready? Oh, you better get ready, because we got something for you today. So I will soon be joined by my partner in consciousness, Nsoromma, our intellectual surgeon. All right. I hope you join me on Facebook Live. And when you do, let me tell you something. Make sure you share it. That's word. Make sure, because you want everybody in on this. And if you got the nerve, if you're brave enough, always got to look at it to make sure. Give us a call right here on WHGE 95.3. That number is 844-944-3953. 844-WHGE 953. All right, you get it? I hope you do. We got some smart people, so I ain't got to explain it. That's where, you know, I'm gonna get right with it here. You know, I have often heard some people that I actually have some admiration for. How can I say, that run away from Africa, run away from Mama Africa. Okay, to me that's nuts, because I'm a Pan-Africanist. You know, look, and this from Kwame Nkrumah. If you don't know who that is, look it up. I'll give you a little hint, help you out a little bit here. Kwame Nkrumah was the first prime minister of post-colonial Ghana. Okay? He said, it is clear that we must find an African solution to our problems, and that this can only be found in African unity. Divided, we are weak. Africa could become one of the greatest forces for good in the world. All nations have their center economics and power derived from commodities to build and maintain a just and successful society. The bottom line is nations are built around economics and how they use it. Many of my peers in the struggle, whom I respect, eventually evolved to African socialism, which is a belief in sharing economic resources in a traditional African way, as distinct from classical socialism. Okay, let me get that to you again. Many of my peers in the struggle eventually evolved to African socialism, which is a belief in sharing economic resources in a traditional African way, which is distinct from classical socialism. In our situation, led by an unjust people and system that oppresses our people worldwide, yet we support that same unjust system. It makes no sense. Our dilemma is, as Malcolm states, you can't have capitalism without racism, which is why capitalism has to be offset by socialism. That's not communism. And of course, that's something that a lot of our people, especially here in America, don't understand. What is traditional African socialism? Ubuntu. Ubuntu means I am because we are. We are, each and every one of us, responsible for each other. But we get caught up in that individualistic Negropean European mentality. We got to let that go. Why Pan-Africanism? Africa is the most resource-rich landmass on the face of the planet. Everywhere African people exist, we are oppressed. Even on our own continent. Liberating Africa advances the liberation of African people. Like Dr. Clark teaches us about the resources of Africa. Africa has resources that the world wants, but have no care to pay for. Africa, it's time you put your foot down and say no. The hidden fact. Overpopulation is a myth. You often hear those. I remember Richard Pryor made a joke on that. I have nowhere to ride my horsey. That's what he said, white man said. It's a myth. In fact, there's so much room on earth that if everyone lived as densely as in New York City, the entire world population of 7.8 billion people could fit into the state of Alaska and give them all an acre of land and everyone would fit nicely. Overpopulation is a lie. Like everything else the current rulers of the world have told you. That lie that we are overpopulated is spread to induce fear and scarcity over the masses and to justify ways to lower the population. It is a statistical fact that 50% of humans live on less than 1% of the land. And if a fraction of lawns were turned into gardens, food scarcity would be non-existent. Now I say good morning, Sherry, my favorite Facebook cuz. Jadea, what's up, brother? One of my favorite sources of information. Brother, be bringing it. Thank you. Yes, indeed. And a very old friend. I'm glad to see you in there, brother. And that's brother Mike Whittle. Another brother in consciousness. Historian, teacher, brother that I very much admire. That I've known just about all my life. We grew up together. Peace and love, brother. All right. All right, all right. Listen, this is a quote from Chris Rock. Okay, hold on for a second. Let me get my ducks in a row here. Okay. All right. I'm with you. Don't you worry. Okay. All right. This is a quote from Chris Rock. And I know some of y'all get it mixed and will say I'm leaning towards one way instead of the other, but I'll clear that up after this quote. Okay, a black Christian is like a person with no memory, in denial of their slave history. They beat Jesus into us and their religion. Now, I'm sure there are some of you that would dispute that, but that's okay. Last time I checked, if it's good, no one has to beat it into you. If it's good, No one has to beat you to accept something good for you. Only if it's wrong for you. We have lost our damn minds even today, just as dumb as they were in slavery. That's harsh, Chris, but it is what it is. We refuse to think or research our history. This makes no sense to me, and it shouldn't to anyone else. Take the time and learn the truth. Preachers getting super rich off your ignorance. I know you need that money. Hell, I'm rich and I need my money. That's what Chris Rock said. He's rich and he needs his money. And now, like I said, I'm sure some people say, yeah, he always coming down on Christianity. Don't get it mixed. I am not a Muslim. I am not a Jew. I am not a Christian. And as Dr. Clark teaches us, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism are all male chauvinist murder cults. Okay? When Islam came into Africa, it came at the point of a sword. If you wanted to trade because the Arabs had taken over North Africa, if you wanted to trade beyond the Mediterranean, which is the body of water between Africa and Europe, if you wanted to trade as an African in North Africa and beyond the Mediterranean, because the Arab Muslim controlled that area, you had to become a Muslim. Even coming into that area, you had to become a Muslim at the point of a sword. Christianity is no different. It's amazing to me when I look at the history of Christianity, which were purported to have started in the quote-unquote first century of this Julian calendar, or Gregorian calendar, how quickly it became corrupt. I say it's amazing because it didn't take long at all, less than 100 years, and then after 325, after the Council of Nicaea, it was absolutely corrupt. To the extent that if you weren't a Christian, after Constantine adopted Christianity for the Roman Empire, which was nothing but a control measure, not being a Christian could get you killed. They run around screaming Jesus, the Prince of Peace, and if you didn't agree, they'd kill your ass. That it is what it is. It is what it is. That's word. And good morning, Bessie. I see you, sister. All right, sunshine. Yeah. The Open Eye is brought to you by the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, founders and builders of the Pearl Center, Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, changing veterans' lives all over Delaware.
Views and opinions expressed on Open Eye are those of the host, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE 95.3 FM nor our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by Open Eye's hosts, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, company, or individual.
WHGE 95.3 FM, the Open Eye. Yes, indeed. The third eye optometrist, Patrice Gibbs. WHGE, the Advocacy Education Station. That's a good tagline because I'm sure you tune in to WHGE, you're going to learn something. Did you know, speaking of learning something, that Abu Bakr II, the Mariner Prince of Mali, traveled to America in 1311. 1311, what's that, 181 years before Columbus? Abu Bakr II traded with indigenous people in the Americas. He never claimed to discover America because he knew it was already there. He was not the first African to sail the so-called Atlantic and trade with the indigenous people there. Those people are called indigenous. Indigenous means, native to the land. Okay, actually, the Mongols who were there and the black people who were there were immigrants. Of course, the black people who were there had been there for millennium. And of course, so had the Mongolian, and often they were in conflict with each other. Our history is so, how can I say, so extensive, so deep, goes back so far. Of course, the deeper they dig, the blacker it gets. That's the deal. Fast forward to modern times. We're still dealing with the major drug dealers in the world, the pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry made $50 billion in profit last year. I had to count them zeros on my phone to make sure. Well, that 50 billion? Yeah. Meanwhile, 1 in 5 Americans can't afford life-saving medicine. It's nothing short of criminal negligence for that to happen. I said a couple of weeks ago, a quote that I got from someone that works in the pharmacy. When told the price of their medicine, when told the price of their insulin, they started crying because they had to put some of their groceries back in order to afford their medicine. This is what happens when the asylum is run by the psychopaths. And that's what America is, a great big asylum run by psychopaths. Jeez, we often get in our history. Speaking of which, WHGE 95.3 FM has started a new show hosted by Rochelle Wilson. Comes on Fridays at 4:30. It's called East Side Pride. It's aimed at the people of the East Side of Wilmington to take pride in their rich history. I was honored to be a guest on yesterday and talk about my own family's connection to the East Side's rich history. Tune in. One of the things I mentioned was a conversation with a white person who has a PhD in history and accused me of asserting that all white people are bad or evil. What's up, Vaughn? I see you, brother. I responded that I'm not one who promotes the notion that all white people are bad or evil. I informed her that white people, especially white historians, are the ones who promote and sustain the idea that all white people are evil. Of course, she looked confused with her PhD in history. I proceeded to tell her that the enslaving rapist George Washington is the father of the nation. I told her that they put the genocidal maniac, President Andrew Jackson, on their currency. A genocidal maniac. They have a holiday and parades in celebration of Christopher Columbus. Cristobal Colon. Murderous psychopath. I told her that every time that I've been to Chicago, I see tourists celebrating the actions and life of Al Capone. A whacked out drug addict, murderer, and bootlegger, racketeer. I informed her that virtually every celebrated historical figure in their culture is a villain. I asked her, and I've mentioned his name many times on the show, if she ever heard of Smedley Butler, who was the greatest soldier ever produced by the U.S. Armed Forces. She said she had never heard of him. A PhD in history. He actually saved the U.S. from a military coup. Look that up. The corporatists were going to pull a coup on Franklin Delano Roosevelt because they didn't like the fact that he is actually helping people. No, not us. I'm sorry. Butler, he's been erased from white history. No one talks about him. Ask her why there are no parades or nationwide celebrations of William Lloyd Garrison. She had no answer. Ask her why Eugene V. Gibbs is not taught about in their history or even political science courses. She didn't even know who the hell he was. I informed her that the best way for white historical figure to be ignored or suppressed in white history is to stand for justice or human liberation. It's okay for a white history hero to give lip service to freedom and equality like Thomas Jefferson. But they better not dare try to make it a reality. Oh yeah, I said a white history hero to give lip service. Understand that. To give lip service to freedom and equality like Thomas Jefferson. Because that's all he did. He paid lip service to freedom and equality. But don't get it mixed. Jefferson was a monster. Oh yeah. 600 slaves. Raped the 14-year-old Sally Hemings. He was a monster. So when I, a product of Western education, tend to focus on the villains of white history, it's because that's who I see on all the monuments. And I'm not just talking about the Confederate monuments, on the money and in the folklore of this nation. If whites want to be viewed in a different light, why don't they simply begin to not only celebrate their true historical heroes, why don't they begin to live up to the teachings and examples of these true heroes? But I guess it's easier, more profitable for them to ask or demand that non-whites accept the historical propaganda and accept the villains they sell us as heroes. See, that's why they're so scared, and they're scared of critical race theory. Oh, we can't have critical race theory taught to our children. It's teaching our children that all white people are oppressors and all black people are victims. It's not teaching none of that. Critical race theory is a theoretical construct that asks the question, is systemic racism the reason for the problems of America? I'm Patrice Gibbs. This is the Open Eye on WHGE 95.3 FM. What's up, brother? What's it? Hey, Bessie, I see you. PhD in what she wanted to learn. She never looked in black history or no other nationality. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Jadea, enjoying this, brother. Thank you, thank you. All right, all right. Okay, what we got here?
Was founded by veterans to help veterans.
Joe, what's good?
Understand the needs and work well with military and veterans cultures, normally misunderstood by other nonprofits. The Delaware Center for Homeless Vets is proud to announce Homeless Veterans Beat Immigration Program and Incarcerated Veterans Transition Program. HDRT, IVTT, are the only programs to focus exclusively on competitive employment.
What's up?
Provide job
Chop.
job placement services, including job readiness, literacy and skills training, to expedite re-entry veterans into the workforce.
Contact the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets at dchb.org or call our office at 691-7411. That's 302-691-7411. Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Changing veterans' lives all over Delaware.
WHGE 95.3 FM. Joining me, my brother in consciousness, Nsoromma.
Yeah.
Good morning, Grand Rising, Peace, brother.
Hello, everyone.
All right.
What's good, homie?
Oh, this, that, and the other
Right,
thing.
right. I heard you on the way in.
Yeah, you heard me on the way in. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Talking about a little bit of everything
A
here.
little
this
bit of
morning.
everything,
Yeah,
yeah.
our history, this, that, the other thing.
That's right.
And I wanna keep on with our history.
Okay.
All right. How many of you have heard of the Pullman Porters? I hope a lot of you have. Okay, the Pullman Porters. The Pullman Porters were a very important part of our history because they were largely instrumental in the Great Migration out of the South for many blacks.
Right.
All right. Who were the Pullman Porters?
That was my next question.
Yes, indeed. Now, after the Civil War, Chicago businessman George Pullman began hiring thousands of African American men, including many formerly enslaved people, to serve white passengers traveling across the country on his company's luxury sleeping car trains.
Right.
The railroad sleeping car was developed during the Industrial Revolution, and its popularity led to many advances in the transportation industry. The need for labor created employment opportunities for African Americans, and the first Pullman Porters began working on trains around 1867.
Okay.
Okay, quickly becoming a fixture of the company's travel experience. Okay, anyone that's seen old movies from like the 30s and 40s, and you've seen the black man running through the train station with somebody's bags or on the train serving food and what have you.
Right.
I can name two famous people that in the 40s were Pullman Porters. Both of them, you know what, and they were buddies. They were known as Detroit Red and Chicago Red. Okay?
Okay.
Chicago Red was Red Fox.
Okay.
Most famously known as a comedian and as Sanford on Sanford and Son.
Right.
His buddy, pal, partner in crime, Detroit Red, was Malcolm.
Right.
Was indeed. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, the Pullman Palace Car Company built, owned, and operated the majority of luxury rail cars. These opulent trains were dubbed hotels on wheels.
Right.
Because passengers could engage in social activities in the lounge cars, have meals in the dining cars, and rest comfortably in the sleeping cars. Okay? Now, a lot of people
didn't know that.
Such
as Tracy. Yo, Tracy.
All right. That's
right.
all right.
Okay.
All right.
We learn here.
There's no shame. That's why you tune in.
Right.
There's no shame in not knowing. The shame is in not wanting to know.
Right.
Okay? Now, I'm sure many of you who may have seen, those movies with the Pullman Porters say, oh boy, do they Tom it up. Are they Uncle Toms? And we know Uncle Tom was actually a hero.
Right.
But that's the term that we have become used to, and I use it for that reason. Probably the proper term was, boy, were they selling? Sellouts, yeah. For a tip. Okay?
Right.
But what you have to understand is something that Dr. Clark explained, and that's profitable selling out.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
When these Pullman Porters would, be subservient to these white men and what have you, they would make a lot of money.
Right. And
they were actually looked at in our community as well-to-do men.
Right.
With great jobs and what have you. Okay? Dr. Clark broke it down when he explained how some of these Pullman Porters was, seem to be kissing up to these white men and this, that, and the other. And, well, how's your children? Some of the white men respond back, well, how's your job? Yeah. Well, he's doing okay, but, having a hard time getting him some clothes together for school.
Right.
I'm proud to say he's actually going off to college. And that white man said, well, you're a really nice fella. I'm going to help you out. And the next thing you know, he done gave that brother a whole thing of clothes for his son.
Right, for college.
Yeah. So,
right.
he was cooning with a purpose.
Okay.
All right. He was cooning with a purpose. While they were underpaid, overworked, and endured constant racism, Pullman porters helped fuel the Great Migration that shaped the black middle class and laid the groundwork for the Civil Rights Movement. Their job duties included carrying bags, shining shoes, setting up and cleaning the sleeping berths, and serving passengers food and drink. In some cases, they were required to sing and dance.
Oh, yeah.
For customers.
Entertain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Porters endured long hours of passengers frequently boarding and detraining at stations throughout the night. Porters were required to work 400 hours or 11,000 miles per month, whichever came first, to receive their full salary.
11,000 miles. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Year.
Yeah.
That's a year driving back and forth to work.
Hey, that's word. Now, here's what happened. The porters organized and founded the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters in 1925 with A. Philip Randolph. A. Philip Randolph was a labor leader, black man. The Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters was the first African-American labor union to sign a collective bargaining agreement with a major corporation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Randolph was a labor rights advocate who fought to improve the working conditions and salaries for the porters. The unions included lesser-known foreman workers, female maids, who were also required to babysit white children on the passenger train. And, of course, A. Philip Randolph was one of the major organizers for the 1963 March on Washington. So the Pullman Porters are a part of our history that we should look at with a measure of pride.
Because, a lot of people didn't know that we had our own black transportation back then.
No, they didn't. No.
I'm talking about when the civil rights movement came all about, when it was fighting for the backseat of the bus and all of that. We had our own transportation.
Yes.
We didn't need.
And you know why I know that so well?
Why?
Because my father's older brother was a bus driver for one of those black-owned
bus companies.
Bus companies. Yeah, he was.
Well,
I remember. Huh?
I said, well, you connected.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I can remember in the mid-70s, this one bus company, black-owned, was still around. Pretty sure it was called Clementi or something like that. No, that's not it. I can't remember the name of it, but I will ask one of my aunts. When in the mid-70s, I think I was 16. Instead of having a family reunion, Uncle Homer took us on a bus tour to New York.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because, as a traveling bus driver, over the road, interstate bus driver.
They know all the cities and all the places. Yeah.
I guess indeed. Country boy from Marydale, Maryland, knew his way around Harlem better than some people in New York City.
Right.
Big ups, Uncle Homer. Love you, bro.
One love.
One love. One love. WHGE 95.3 FM. I am Patrice Gibbs.
And Nsoromma in the building.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. And as always, don't get it mixed. Don't get it mixed. There's a reason, I gotta tell you, that we look at ourselves as historians. We're students of history. We want to bring it to the people. We have every intention of bringing it to the people. Okay? If you would notice, Nsoromma is not just a fixture on the air. Brother Nsoromma is a well-studied brother. That's what big ups, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, indeed.
You too, son.
Thank you.
And y'all will be too, through the listening of
the knowledge that we be dropping for y'all. So
All right.
stay tuned. Y'all got, yo, what's up? Sherry, yo, Steve, yo, what's good?
I heard that. Yes, I see you on there, brother boy.
Uh-huh. What up, boy? Carrie,
Yeah.
Lotto, what's happening? Hey, yo, Joe, get your chess game up, because that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, 844-944-3953. Link up, hit us up so y'all can talk to us on the air and everything. Let's go. 95.3 WHGE. You dig? Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm streaming everywhere.
Nsoromma
That's right, go get that.
doing it. Right here on
Implosion.
WHGE. Implosion.
95.3 FM. You dig?
All right.
844-944-3953. Hit us up. You dig? Come on.
All right. You ever heard of Larry Elder?
Larry Elder, I'm afraid, no. Yeah, I might have heard of him, but you know I ain't good too much with remembering names. So.
That's all right.
Yeah,
That's
what
all right.
he do?
Larry Elder is the OG of Negro Peon Coons.
The OG. Oh, wow. All right.
Oh yeah, this is the white supremacist in blackface to the oomph.
Wow.
Yeah, buddy. He's a black conservative, which right there tells you he's insane.
Okay.
Okay. He's been a long-time radio talk show host.
Right.
Black conservative. He has said some of the worst things, most disparaging things about black people you ever wanted to hear.
Okay.
He has said some stuff so racist against black people
Right.
that white people tired of his ass.
Oh.
That's deep.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that. Yo.
Yeah. Well, he's running for governor of California. And for what I understand, unfortunately, sadly, I think he's in the lead. And there's a good chance that he will be governor of California.
I mean, that's what they look for. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the plan that they have. These the kind of people that they need on their team to make their plan work. So when they can find that swagger jacker, or, you know what I'm saying, or that super manipulator, you know what I'm saying? This
super manipulator.
right,
Yeah.
where like they called us super predators back in the day. See, this was
Y'all
and
forgot
Joe Biden said that.
Yeah, it was Hillary Clinton, but Joe Biden went along with it.
Joe
Yeah.
Biden enforced it, right?
Yeah,
He came up with something
Well.
to put that super predator in effect on us.
Right?
Now they create super predators, manipulators to come get us.
Listen up, y'all.
I mean,
Yeah.
yo, keep
Yeah.
going, bro.
All right.
Keep going.
Larry Elder, and get this, okay? He was a guest on the Candace Owens show. For y'all that don't know,
And look, these two getting together. Come on, man.
Man.
You got power.
You have to wonder if he raised Candace
Owens.
Owens.
Going on, get
I'm
ready to
telling
roll
you.
over. Yo,
Yeah. And for y'all that don't know, Candace Owens,
and you
and I use the term.
That's the hood with the
that's the Negro Peon witch. That's who she is. She a Negro Peon witch. Yeah. And Larry Elder was a guest on her show. Okay. And got up there and said, well, you know, y'all want to really have this discussion about reparations? Because if we do, we have to realize something here. That, you know, black people are the only people that deserve reparations because it was legal. Slavery was legal.
That don't mean it was right.
No, it don't.
Right, so they always throw this legal word up, acting like that corrects the situation.
Right.
No, it don't.
It don't.
It's inhumane.
And wait till you hear what he said, bro.
Okay, come
All
on.
right. He said that if black people get reparations, the slave owners descendants deserve reparations? Because the property that they owned was taken from them. Because slavery was legal, and black people were property, and these slave owners lost their property, and they deserve reparations too.
First of all, they came and stole the property because they wasn't even here before them. So all the stuff that he's saying is non and void if you really understand the fact. And that's why I don't believe in all of these act like they've been to school for 212 years and teaching you all this type of stuff when they are part of the super manipulative government. You know what I'm saying? That's trying to reign over all of us citizens. You know what I'm saying?
You know, this had to be the most ignorant mess anybody got up and said, because
especially being black.
You know, because he didn't even study the situation or the history. Because when the slaves were freed under the Emancipation Proclamation, okay, and under the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment,
they did give them money for that.
That's right.
Yes.
Lincoln paid them for losing their slaves.
Right.
So they've already been given reparations that they didn't deserve.
Which we didn't get ours.
And we didn't get ours.
So, I mean, that's just how unfair that they do. They always come up with a plan to do this and then get one step into the plan and then it just disappears and dissipates. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear nothing else about it. But anytime it's dealing with the black community, you know what I'm saying? When they got something in progress to try to help, it never goes through with the help. You know what I'm saying? The help never fully comes all the way through like it's supposed to.
No.
And that's sad, man.
You know, because, you know, and I'm glad you said that, because you look at things like affirmative action.
Right.
Okay? Who is the major beneficiary of affirmative action? White women.
Most definitely.
That's right. And you know, here's what some of these, and I had this discussion with Brother Vaughn. Here's what some of these white people did, these white men in power.
Right.
Because, you know, affirmative action was initially aimed at black people and to benefit black people. But because they worked the laws so it's a minority, okay, that included women. And especially white women. So what their husbands would do is put their business in their wife's name, and then they could get the benefits of government contracts going to minorities.
Right.
Okay.
And the thing about it, they always want to be put in this realm of minority, but when the minority was getting hung, and when the minority was getting chased and dragged down the street on the back of pickup trucks and stuff, they wasn't part of the minority then. They
didn't want to be no goddamn minority then.
Exactly. And now that, you know, they see the benefits that they supposed to give us, which they don't. That's just, it's just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? That a government, this is a governmental plan. This is the joint that you call, what is it, the X8, the RX4, what is it?
The RX4?
Yeah. What is it? I forget exactly.
You caught me slipping here, bro.
Yo,
my bad memory.
Yeah, but anyway, you know, that's their whole manip. It's 9/11.
Oh, it sure is.
And you understand? It's 9/11 right now.
Yeah.
20 years later.
20 years? Yeah.
They manip their own. They manip and blew up their own building, make you think that somebody else did it, so they can put that in effect.
Yeah.
And now here it is, 20 years later again, and they came up with their own virus that they injecting into our society. This is playing things. You gotta understand that.
And you know, I'm glad you brought up 9/11. You know, because a lot of people are like, well, you know, you get caught up in those conspiracy theories, and I mean, the idea that America would blow up its own building and kill its own people, that's just
right. They don't think that's
not new.
Right.
That's not new.
America could be killing their own people for centuries.
That's right. You know, look. The Spanish-American War. What was it? Remember the Lufthansa? The Lufthansa was the ship that was blown up during the Spanish-American War.
Right.
Here's what Philip Randolph Hearst, is that his name? Hearst, the newspaper magnate,
Okay.
said about the Spanish-American War before it got started. Okay? You provide me, this is what he told politicians, you provide me with the action, I'll provide you with the propaganda to get the war started.
Say that again, brother.
You provide me with the action,
Uh-huh.
I'll provide you with the propaganda to get the war started.
Right.
Okay? This is what the mainstream media does.
Of course.
Okay? When the war, the run-up the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, who was the major cheerleaders for the war? The mainstream media.
Most definitely.
Don't get it mixed.
Yep.
Don't get that mixed. It was the mainstream media that cheered that situation on. So you don't think they would blow up the World Trade Center? It's not new. This is what they do. This is what they do. Mm-hmm. You heard so right here on WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yeah. You did.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, man.
Yeah, it is
It's
something
just-
else.
And it's just, what is the world coming to right now?
Woo.
That's the question.
Woo-wee. That's
What
a damn
is the
good
world
question.
coming to?
What is it coming to? What is our city coming to? Nsoromma asked the question.
Hit us up. What you think? Yeah. Yo. What's good? Luther. What's happening? What's up, man? I ain't making no noise. Cedric. What's up, my brother? Doing what we do, you know. Stay tuned. We just chilling.
I ate that mint and they all went up my nose.
Nsoromma, my city. Streaming all platforms. You dig? Support. Check it out. Make that your ringtone. You dig me?
WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yup.
The Open Eye with
Nsoromma.
and Patrice Gibbs.
True that.
Yes, indeed. The music you heard was from Nsoromma, my city.
Streaming all platforms.
Streaming all platforms.
Believe that.
Let's get some more history.
Okay.
All right. Harlem. Did you know that Harlem was once all white? Yeah.
I would,
Who changed that? How'd that change? Well, there was a brother named Philip A. Payton Jr.
Okay.
Okay, he became a real estate magnate.
Okay.
And he did so when he looked around and he saw how blacks were living throughout New York City. Okay? Human hives, honeycombed with little rooms, thick with human beings, is how white journalist and co-founder of the NAACP, Mary White Overton, described the filthy tenements that black New Yorkers were relegated to at the turn of the 20th century. The circumstances were dire, as noted by Jacob Riis, the chronicler of urban poverty. In the years that followed, Payton steered New Yorkers to the area the subway system had opened up. Harlem was white and home to wide boulevards, brownstones, and row houses. It would become the nexus of a community whose cultural output helped shape 20th century America.
Right.
Little in Payton's early life pointed toward a career in real estate. He was born in 1876. He dropped out of college, went to work in his father's barbershop, and he listened to the people around him who argued that it would make lazy men of them if they listened to Booker T. Washington. He said, oh, no, y'all didn't listen. Okay? What you need to do is check out The Negro in Business by Booker T. Washington. Okay? And that's what he did. And as soon as he could, he started buying property. Okay? And what he did was, he did reverse gentrification. Okay? He let it get out that a white man was murdered by a black person in Harlem area, and whites started abandoning Harlem in droves. And he started saying, hey, you know, the black people moved in your neighborhood. I can probably give you the best price you're going to get for this tenement here, or for this brownstone here.
Right.
And that's how he started acquiring property in Harlem. And the next thing you know, he done turned Harlem black. And he is rightfully known as the father of the Harlem Renaissance. And of course, what came out of the Harlem Renaissance were people like Langston Hughes, Duke Ellington,
Right.
Cab Calloway.
All these famous jazz players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Authors. Like Zero Hurston. Yeah. One of my early influences, anthropologist, historian, Drusilla Dungy Houston. You know, this is what came out of the Harlem Renaissance. Look him up. Write this name down.
That's the mindset that they had back then, was to be better, do better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And that's what we got. That's the mindset we have to get back right now, instead of being on our phones. Most of the kids and most of the people nowadays are just looking down. They don't even look up. They don't even look into the sky. They don't even know what the clouds look like, because they on their phones so much.
Right.
By just, their necks be hurting, their thumbs be hurting. You know what I'm saying? I never had that problem, because I always was an athlete. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that.
For my thumbs to hurt from me texting and playing on the phone and playing games on the phone, that's a disease right now.
Yeah.
That is a medical condition right now that they have right now. Just think how it's changed.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? So,
because that phone has become an appendix.
Right. And now they're taking the phone and putting it into the glasses, whereas though you don't even got to carry the phone.
Oh, how about that? Did you see that?
Yeah. And so, I mean, this is what they had planned 10 years ago, and it's done now. So they bringing it to sale and put in your face and in your hand next month. You know what I'm saying? So for me to say that, the world's not changing, the world's changing a lot. And we in the world have to change with it. Or especially black people, or we're going to get put back into that slave role and mentality that this government has always been trying to apply to.
Yeah. And understand something. That it's a tool. That's what your phone is. It's a tool. It's a handheld computer. And all the knowledge in human history is in there.
Right.
All you gotta do is look it up. Now, this is for you sisters. All right, this one. I love you, Black Queen. Yes, I do.
True that.
Yes, I do. And what you have to understand who you are.
Most definitely.
Okay? You have to understand who you are, but also understand who they plan for you to be. Okay? Feminism came about in the 70s. Who was the face of feminism for white people? Gloria Steinem. Yeah. She had a magazine called Miss. Okay. What you have to know about Gloria Steinem. Gloria Steinem really is black. We know nothing about her, care nothing about her. Yeah. Well, Gloria Steinem actually first came across the radar of black men in 1978 when Steinem put out a book called Black Macho and the Myth of the Superwoman on the cover of Miss Magazine, the magazine that she controlled.
Right.
Now, the book was written by a quote-unquote black feminist and activist named Michelle Wallace, who came out of nowhere.
No, she didn't really come out of nowhere. She was like part of the CIA and FBI. They was inserting a lot of these people into our community. So,
well, let me tell you about Miss Wallace. Miss Wallace, who was in her early 20s at the time, she was being touted as the leader of black feminism.
Wow.
But in her book, Wallace called abolitionists like Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth ugly and stupid for supporting black men. She called black revolutionaries chauvinist macho pigs. and advised black women to go it alone. Gloria Steinem said that Wallace's book would define the future of black relationships, and she pushed hard to make sure the book received massive publicity. Gloria Steinem's work triggered a flood of hate black men books and films that continue to this day. This is the root of that black male toxic, that black toxic masculinity that we now speak against. You know, have you seen stuff on Netflix?
What?
They have a new Cinderella movie on Netflix.
No, I didn't see it though.
All right, I just saw the ad for it a couple of days ago, and you know the little trailer for it.
Yeah.
Guess who the fairy godmother is?
Yeah.
It's a black dude named Billy Porter with a gown on and just as moist as he could be.
That's terrible, man.
Yeah. And this is for our children.
Right. They always degrade the strong black male figure.
You know?
Somehow. I mean,
that's where.
That's so sickening to me. You know what I'm saying? That I mean.
You know what?
That's
that thing about that
it's
book.
ludicrous.
Yeah.
It is. Mike Tyson.
It's ludicrous. It is. You know? Now this Michelle Wallace, this book with her name on it.
Right.
Wallace had a nervous breakdown and went into hiding for 2 years.
Okay.
But the damage was already done and the hate black men movement was off and running. Research into Gloria Steinem's black background continued. And what followed is the findings of many different researchers. First of all, Gloria Steinem wrote that goddamn book. Boop! Yeah. Yeah. The black feminist movement was created and manipulated by the CIA. Guess what? Gloria Steinem was a CIA spook who manipulated black women so that one, the white feminist movement could build up their numbers. White women ain't never gave a damn about no black women. Where you get that crap from?
Right. Matter of fact, they build up Planned Parenthood to try to take their killer and get their part, take their kids and get their body parts and all that stuff from the infants.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
and just for the record, it's a fact. Gloria Steinem was actually recruited into the CIA before she even graduated high school.
Of course, because they seen her influence.
Yeah.
Yo, and that's what's going on now, man.
That's right.
I mean,
yeah. You know. Now the thing is this.
What?
Sisters, my black queens, this fight for black feminism, that's not your fight. That's not your fight. Tell you what Dr. Clark said, and this is so for us historically. In Africa, the woman's place was not only with her family, but she often ruled nations with unquestioned authority. Many African women were great militarists, meaning they were, great
warriors.
Warriors.
They were warriors. That's yo, man.
And led their armies in the battle.
Right.
The Africans had produced a civilization where men were secure enough. We are secure enough to let our women advance as far as their talent, skill, royal lineage, and prerogatives would take them. It's not your fight, sister. We got your back. Don't think them white women do. All right. Wow, bro, we're coming around to the closing
I know,
of the show.
man. We always get there fast. Once we start going in.
You know, let me give you a little information before I get into this closing ring. Okay. The FBI report on hate crimes has been released. Now, you know, the big deal has been made about Asians suffering hate crime.
Yo, until they been hung and treated through depression and come on, man, stop jumping on the bandwagon like something's happened to you. Nothing's happening to you like that.
That's
okay. If it happened to you, you did something. It's just that simple.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And the support with Nsoromma is telling you the number of actual hate crimes against Asians was 274. The number of hate crimes against African Americans, which was underreported, was 2,755 compared to 274. But guess what? Guess what? Joe Biden signed into law the Asian hate crime bill.
But you gotta know who you dealing with. He just called a super predator, so he don't care about you.
That's what did I tell y'all?
Don't get it twisted. I mean,
what did I tell y'all after the Democratic nomination? I'm gonna tell you because I wrote it down.
What you say, bro?
Yeah.
What you say, bro?
I said our choices are dismal. Biden, a white supremacist, is directly responsible for mass incarceration and proudly so.
Right.
Harris, his vice president, declared war on black people in California and was gleeful about it.
Right.
Jim Crow Joe seemed to be on a mission to alienate black people throughout his campaign, choosing Kamala Harris, a notorious nigger P and dead wench.
Yup.
That's no different. Black people who supported this awful team.
Right.
Where y'all at now? You would admonish those of us who were critical of this sorry ass team. Okay? And I tell you, that's no different from white people telling black people to get over it. The choices are dismal. This is the reality we're dealing with. The Democrats allowed this madness, not those of us who are not afraid to face and state the truth like Nsoromma and I. It's the Open Eye, WHGE 95.3 FM.
Yeah.
And as we always tell you, destiny determines who enters your life, but you decide who stays.
True.
Therefore, value those who value you, and don't treat those as a priority who treat you as an option. I'm Patrice Gibbs.
I'm Nsoromma, WHGE 95.3 FM. You dig? Yeah. Yo, you know what it is. Hey, yo, our time always go fast, yo. Once we start rolling that thing, tick, tick, tack, tick, tack, tick, tack. Hey, yo, thank you for tuning in. That's what's up, you know what I mean? So, yo, tune in next Saturday, too. Thank all y'all for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, matter of fact, Nsoromma streaming on all platforms, you know what I'm saying? If you're back.
Hey, that's right. Hey, if you heard some of Nsoromma's music here, I know you want it on your phone. All right? I know you do. Yeah, you just heard a snippet of it. Oh, and get his latest. Which one was that?
Which one? Hard Work Today.
Hard Work Today?
Yeah.
No, your Beamer.
Huh?
The Beamer? Your latest CD where I'm a guest?
Oh, that's all for Hard Work Today.
Oh, okay, Hard Work Today. Yeah, get that because I'm a guest on there. You want to get that? That's where you hear Nsoromma. We got another one coming. All right, and thank you everyone for joining us. That's what. Yep, and I know.
Every side.